Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit, and I'm here once again for New Worlds November, reading periodicals that I've bought over the years and then didn't read. Some of them I have read, mostly the mystery and horror ones, but that's not what New Worlds November is about. I've been reading the periodicals that have science fiction in them, which is what we're trying to celebrate in November. And once again, in this periodical, my favorite story was not exactly science fiction. So we're going to be talking about the story anyway. I justify my actions by the fact that science fiction or fantasy, they're both speculative fiction. Yeah, okay. Anyway. I'm celebrating the prompt, celebrating New Worlds November by reading science fiction. I just happen to prefer the speculative or fantasy stories that I've been reading. No problem here. I read Lightspeed magazine from last year, 2020, August edition, and it had a reprint of a story that was in Asimov's in 2018, Huntsman and The Beast, which is a very good story, well written. It's just a gender swap retelling of Beauty and the Beast in a way, where I was about to sneeze. The huntsman is with a prince who's scoping out the land, and they find a castle that they're unfamiliar with, kind of captured, and then the huntsman says, "Let my prince go, and I'll stay here." And then he does, and slowly but surely finds out that the beast is a woman, and bonds with her. And the prince comes back ready to fight, but through some sort of, we'll say, negotiations in a sense, manages to ward off the prince and head him up north. Meanwhile, the lady, as the last of her siblings, last of four, just like the huntsman, last of five, which is why he became a huntsman. And she's the last one there, and she's, she wants to defend her home. And then there's been a spell on it. She does not want to be tamed, but by the end she does become human. And this is part of the way that they get the prince to go away, because he notices her, even though he does seem to kind of get it. He gives a little wink, wink. Anyway, it was nice to reread that story. But my favorite story, actually, I have two that I really enjoyed. My favorite story I'll talk about last. It was kind of a 1A, 1B situation here, but actually, my favorite story was in the science fiction category, so what do you know? My favorite one is Miss Beulah's Braiding and Life Change Salon, which is written by Eden Royce. A very good story about a genie, that, unlike their fellow genie, is not in hiding and does hair, takes care of hair, and takes payments in the form of the nightmares. And this particular person that comes in has a lot of troubles, I believe, relating to her parents, if I remember right. It's been a couple days since I read it. Well, this is a reprint as well from Black from the Future, a collection of Black speculative writing. Anyway, it is very interesting kind of story to take this particular character taking the nightmares and, getting to know about the character that is having these nightmares, and what's going on in the mind of the person, taking care of the hair. And I just really enjoyed that story a lot. But my favorite story that I really, really love is, if I could open it, it was written by, it is called Sing in Me, Muse, and this is by Katherine Crichton, and it is about Anissa, 15th of her line, and she is singing songs to her mother, who is Mnemosine, and throughout this story, she comes across another person who she seems to fall in love with, and as the story goes on, they're sailing out, going around, sort of port to port, and just sort of waiting for a sign, some kind of acknowledgement or symbol of the mother in some way. What are all these? And starts to question the things that they do and why they do them. And one character that does that a lot is Tara, I believe is the name of the... Is it Rachel? I think it's Tara. Who is 18th of her line. Really starts to put to question, everything that they do. And suddenly disappears. But then Tara, 19th of her line, comes along and is a very different person. Familiar yet unknowing in some ways. And, because of this and just the seed that was planted in Anissa's mind, she starts to really question how things work, and eventually is replaced by supposedly the mother. And we get a final entry from Anissa, 16th of the line. And I just really enjoyed this idea of some sailing women singing songs to the mother and having these doubts and questions about who they are and what they're doing, why they're doing things, and all this stuff. I thought it was really incredible. All three of those stories, very good. The other stories in here also quite strong, but those are the three that I enjoyed the most for New Worlds November. That one is apparently science fiction. Not really AI or robots, as is the prompt for this week, but that's okay. I enjoyed another periodical, and I will return with one maybe sometime next week. I'm trying to finish something for Nonfiction November, and it's taking me a long time because I keep reading so many periodicals, which I don't mind, but I would like to finish that. And then there's another book I want to read this month for the Trek Tube 2021 or whatever it's called. I can't remember now. Okay, bye.